And then I saw her face, and I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love.
Hey guys, COHD here, and I am back with another reaction video. And today I'm going to be reacting to After the Fact Equestria Girls. So yeah, I'm finally reacting to After the Fact Equestria Girls since I finished reacting to After the Fact Season 4, and now I'm going to react to the After the Fact videos for the Equestria Girls series. So yeah, I'm a little excited to check this out because it is Equestria Girls and it was pretty phenomenal. So yeah. Anyways, let's jump right in.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Silver, you Everestic avian. Equestria Girls is so 2013. Who are you to be talking about it
so
now,
long ago.
especially on the cusp of Season 5? Well, I'll tell you who I am. I am Silver-Quill, and if there's a review in which I might be mashed, burned, twisted, or otherwise inconvenienced, then by Celestia's secret stash, I shall make it. I'm still working on getting that theme song. Dang it.
Equestria girls were pony fabulous, fast, fine, fierce, we got till we drop. Cutie marks represent, now put your hooves up.
Reviewing Equestria Girls is a treacherous affair. Some have tried to tackle it as a party, yet it endures. Some have tried to face it alone and been driven to poverty and madness.
Poverty?
And one tragic figure turned into a shell of his former self, loss of limbs, sudden weight gain, slurred speech. The madness, it terrifies me. And yet I find it uniquely entertaining. Go fig. But before I can wade waist deep into my own brand of insanity, I need to address a topic that isn't a plot point, but a theme. Merchandising. Yes, the most common criticism of Equestria Girls lies not in the high school hijinks, baffling baddies, and much maligned males, but rather the accusation that this was a cash-in by Hasbro to compete with doll lines like Monster High. Others cite that Friendship is Magic has had its own share of toy pitches before and after the movie. And I think that's something valid to keep in mind. As much as we enjoy a show about pastel ponies that features humor, adorable characters, and unique animation, the fact remains this show was originally conceived to push My Little Pony figures, My Little Pony t-shirts, My Little Pony coloring books, My Little Pony lunchboxes,
a lot of merchandise,
My Little Pony the Flamethrower.
What?
I had no idea you are a pyromaniac, and I find that
a pyromaniac?
awesome. Yet while being a merchandising vehicle might not make Equestria Girls inherently bad, it doesn't excuse the movie's shortcomings either. I'm of the view that good writing sells better than gimmicks and leaves a lasting impression. And I've seen my share of merchandising cartoons, both good and bad. After all, I grew up in the 80s.
Say, kids, what time is it?
Howdy-doody.
Younger viewers may not know of a time when merchandising wasn't a key focus on television. In fact, the United States once had a law limiting the amount of commercialism that could be
Hope you don't
included in
get copyright
programming.
for that.
That changed in 1983 when Congress repealed said law and the Federal Trade Commission hadn't the resources to enforce strict limitations. Businesses went at it with a vengeance. Show after show hit the airwaves, each one filled with characters, vehicles, and plenty of toy line opportunities. Some cartoons have stood the test of time to become iconic, right down to their sound effects. Yeah, like that. Others seem to have faded into obscurity or flat out deserve to be forgotten. Now, if I take off my nostalgia glasses, I'll readily admit that the cartoons of today are, for the most part, on a higher tier in terms of writing, animation, and story arcs. Yet the commercialization remains a constant. In fact, some excellent cartoons have been banished to cancellation simply because the toys weren't selling enough. And because Cartoon Network was flipping insane. But
of course, Cartoon Network.
When I see a character or location that seems like an overt toy sale, I might laugh at how obvious it is, or shake my head and roll my eyes. I'll joke about it. I might wonder if it will damage the show moving forward. Or I might feel nothing. The one thing I can't do is resent the show for trying to sell a product, because storytelling has always been a business, long before television existed. Which finally brings us to Equestria Girls itself and its opening in, the Crystal Empire. Yeah, speaking of poor merchandising, what's the point of this place again?
Then we go see the
I'm
humans.
afraid after a season and a half, I've come to associate the Crystal Empire with underutilization. So I'm instantly wary. Twilight's here for her first Princess Summit, with her friends to boot. Now, I would be harsh on Shining Armor for not greeting his sister at the train station again, but I guess I should let it slide since he doesn't even cameo in this film. I mean, it is a Princess Summit?
Really?
let it go. It ain't happening. But hang on to that dress. I know some parties where you'd be the highlight. And what's the first thing Princess Twilight needs to do after arriving?
You all look tired from your journey. Now off to bed, all of you.
Getting sent to bed like a child. Truly, she is amongst peers. And I make a big deal out of this because this movie came out not long after
Celestia
Magical
acts like
Mystery Cure
she's
and the Twilight's
mom. Jeez.
Fans were asking questions like,
What if now that I'm a princess, Celestia expects me to lead a kingdom of my own?
and considering,
Just because I have this crown and these wings, it doesn't mean I'll be a good leader.
one remix sequence later, we witnessed Twilight having an unexpected guest. Oh, did I say guest? I meant intruder. Who
Yep,
can teleport.
definitely an intruder.
That's significant. The grand total of ponies who
Sunset.
we've seen teleport is now 3. Twilight, Celestia, and the new mare. But nothing beats a good tussle, resulting in Twilight's crown and element of harmony getting chucked into parts unknown. And who is this mystery mare?
Sunset Shimmer.
A former student of mine.
Oh, joy. This is my least favorite way of introducing a character. Yes, we're given a reason why Sunset Shimmer has been out of sight for so long, yet there's a multitude of other questions that spring up, including... How many students has Celestia had? Why has she never mentioned Sunset Shimmer before now? How old was Sunset when she left? How did she know to come back right then? How did she know about the elements of harmony? What is she planning to do with just one element? How did she know where Twilight was sleeping? How did she know what the element looked like?
She's
Did she
been
know
doing
that
a
it
lot
had
of
changed shape?
spying.
Why didn't Celestia post a guard if she knew the mirror was active? Why did she give the mirror to Cadence? What did Cadence plan to do if Sunset came back? Why wasn't Cadence waiting for Sunset? Shouldn't Captain of the Guard's shining armor be kept in the loop? Did no pony seriously hear Twilight calling thief? Why didn't any pony charge into the mirror after her? And did they seriously wait until morning to talk about this?
Yeah, you definitely need a lot of breath in order to
She
talk.
began her studies with me not long before Twilight. But when she did not get what she wanted as quickly as she liked, she turned cruel and dishonest. I tried to help her, but she eventually decided to abandon her studies and pursue her own path.
You may be wondering about the comic pages. Well, in a rare double whammy review, I'm going to comment on the fall of Sunset Shimmer, as presented in IDW's first annual comic. It's pointless. Seriously. It doesn't add anything more to Sunset's character. The most we get is a minor explanation of her knowledge of dark magic and a contrast between her attitude and Twilight's. Some might say a mere 8 pages isn't enough to develop a character. I say the comics made me sympathize with Hayseed Turnip in just 2. Hayseed Turnip. And since this is the work of Celestia's former student, who broke in under Cadence's watch, of course it falls to Twilight to fix things, without her friends. Except Spike, who defies Celestia's orders and follows, making him the most faithful of Twilight's friends. More on that later, but first,
Spike
I
would
must
never
strike
go
forth.
anywhere without Twilight.
Excuse me, ladies. Into the unknown.
And look what happens to you, bro. Derpy. And human Silver-Quill. Oh, looking amused.
Well, this isn't anything big. I mean, I had digits before, so the only thing I miss are those wings, and I hardly ever... Though the ears are certainly a mixed blessing. So yes, Twilight's traversed species, and the fans doth rage. But that's not all. Spike is a dog.
Angry
In the
German
meantime,
kid.
Twilight's got to get used to some new things like walking on 2 legs, the use of hands, and the absence of magic. Twilight is my 3rd favorite amongst the main 6, yet I'm not above enjoying slapstick. It ain't easy being this fickle. Anyway, get used to this interior because there's very little to see of this world beyond Canterlot High. Also, get used to seeing a lot of individuals for whom you will care nothing. Seriously, I don't think I've seen one fan art of these background humans. But let's take advantage of this unnecessary musical montage, which is apparently taking place in Twilight's head, to talk about shifting the setting from Equestria to high school. I'm not against this. Thinking back,
Surely.
high school is one of the most segregated periods in a person's life. You're limited to your own age group, so if you don't mix well with peers, then you're in for a 4-year struggle. And within the student body, you will find 100 cliques within cliques.
But at CHS,
And of course, the CMC.
everybody sticks to their own kind.
Twilight may have a new look, yet she also has the opportunity to demonstrate how far she's come since the series premiere. It all depends on the execution. Starting with facing 3 challenges. The first and most obvious is Sunset Shimmer, who knows this world better than Twilight and enjoys the home field advantage. The second is the attitude of the school, which is pretty apathetic. I've said a lot about Flash Sentry in past videos, so I'll just say for now that he actually is nicer than his classmates in that he's willing to help someone off the floor. That's right. Flash possesses the power of basic human decency. The third challenge facing Twilight is...
Darth Vader music?
What the hell's wrong with everybody's face?
I criticize the show's presentation of Celestia a lot because, quite frankly, I think she's a really good character. We see the benefits of her rule every episode. It's why I'm frustrated that the best of her character occurs off-screen. Not so with Principal Celestia. Her high school has faulty lighting and plumbing, the student body is being humiliated on YouTube, and she's not even aware that the girl she's speaking with isn't a transfer student.
My door is always open.
To put it
We
simply,
never saw
Principal
Equestria girls
Celestia
having
ain't no Princess
YouTube.
Celestia. This, not this. Good ruler, bad principal. Winner, loser. Let's focus on something that this movie
But
does
don't you
really
ever
well.
say that to the
Introducing
principal.
the Human Five. In Friendship
They
is
could get
Magic,
offended.
Twilight's task required her to go and meet Rainbow Dash. Go talk to Applejack. Only Pinkie Pie was an unexpected encounter. Here, Twilight meets her human friends incidentally while pursuing her chief goal, locating the crown, which translates into winning the fall formal and becoming, just call it what it is, she has to become prom queen. So Twilight meets Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack in short order, but not before she gives Sunset plenty of mud for slinging on YouTube. We get further evidence that Cancelot High Security has gone to ruin as Twilight spends the night in the library after expositing that the Human Five were friends before breaking apart, which is an interesting conflict, yet it pales against the
Yeah,
idea
it was
that
all
Twilight has to win over the entire
Sunset
school
doing it.
after Sunset's YouTube video. Even if they use a cutesy name, it's YouTube. You can tell by their comments section.
Some of the comments about our song were really awful. Epic fail. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
I've been doing videos on YouTube for about a
so,
year,
yeah.
girls. Trust me. That's
I've
pain.
seen those effects,
Sunset's
yeah.
friends actually helped draw Rarity
So
back
Equestria
into the
Girls
fold,
did have,
and I really like
YouTube.
that she seeks Twilight out and offers to help rather than being approached.
The
It
same
shows
colors
cast as
from
being
the
proactive,
website.
which is a nice warm-up to one of the most criticized aspects of the movie. The human friends all drifted apart because they were sabotaged via cell phone. Setting aside the question of why Sunset Shimmer would bother, we get the bigger question of why these 5 didn't try to talk things out face to face. It's dumb and obviously a setup for Twilight to fix things. Yet let's keep something in perspective. Our pony heroines have had plenty of moments of poor communication as well. This doesn't excuse a contrivance for the sake of conflict, yet it's an issue in both the show and the movie. It doesn't take long for Twilight to mend the rift, as long as she plays Rainbow Dash in a soccer match. And again, I am fickle. And as the new team starts to consider their options, we hit the part of the story where I truly start to lose hope. And it starts with an earworm.
Oh, come on, I like this song. I haven't seen Equestria Girls in a long time, but I still love the
It's not the
song.
song that bothers me. Rather, it's the fact that this is the closest Twilight ever comes to interacting with the student body. Let's be clear that this was Rarity's plan and her message, and it's with the support of her human friends that Twilight wins everyone over. And that's the problem. Twilight wins everyone over instantly. One song is all it takes for these background cutouts to forget Twilight's
I'm sorry, I just
embarrassment,
can't help it.
cast
I
off
just
their
love
quick
this
status,
song.
and start dancing in harmony. Very bad dancing. This should feel like a triumph, yet instead it feels like a freebie. Her human friends offer a unique option. Rainbow Dash is, somehow, the captain of every sports team. Rarity would have a connection with the Fashionista group, and Fluttershy the Greenpeace kids. If Pinkie Pie is anything like her pony counterpart, she'll be friends with 99% of the school, the 1% being Sunset Shimmer. And I bet Applejack
pretty
knows more
much.
than a few of the students herself, given that her family seems to help run the place. So Twilight has exactly what she needs to reach out and build bridges, to connect groups and help them see past their differences. I get the sense that if this movie had had more time in production and length, we might have seen this over the course of a montage. Instead, this single song and dance is supposed to be her victory. Yet I keep wondering what would have happened if the production weren't so rushed. If the staff
Bruh,
had
how'd you get on the
constructed
roof?
high school tropes rather than follow them. And how can I forget that I don't have wings anymore?
And he's dead. Oh,
Well, that was a short run. So, what kind of Faustian bargain do I have to make this time?
Lord Faust!
Lauren Faustkorn. Yeah, let me stop you right there. I don't mean to disrespect the fandom's representation of the show's creator, but I already know your thoughts on this movie indirectly. Faust's husband, Craig McCracken, stated in an interview with The Grid, I don't think Lauren's the biggest fan of that. That's one of those things that would have made her leave anyway. If they had told her you have to turn them into human beings now, and they have to go to high school, she would have said, no, that's exactly what I didn't want to do with this show. Lauren's priority was telling stories, and Hasbro's priority was selling toys. It's a different way of approaching the work, and it was difficult for her to bridge that gap. And yeah, that's coming through clearly. This movie is mostly a collection of high school tropes that rarely tries to offer a spin on the formula. This branching from a show that gained popularity for not following certain formulas. Yes, I said certain, because Friendship is Magic is known to follow the cliche route itself. In fact, when I really think about my criticisms for the movie, a lot of them apply to the TV show as well. Following the tried and true plotline, there are more than a few episodes that did that, even in Season 1. The main six click? More prominent in the movie, yet it's a growing issue for me with the show. Guys don't get to do much? Well, I hate to say it, but Spike's had a better showing here than he has across several seasons, and Flash Sentry may be more helpful than Shining Armor. Oh, come on, dude, at least greet your sister at the station when she comes to visit. Bad communication skills, plot contrivances, rushed solutions. If anything, the biggest thing working against Equestria Girls is time. At only 72 minutes, the story is rushed and all these issues become more prominent. And I don't mean to take away from the show you've made, I adore it. So what is it about Equestria Girls? There's something missing. Something that's keeping me from becoming invested in this place. This place. Oh, you're good.
Yeah, very good. Oh!
It's the setting! And no, I don't mean that high school can't work as a setting. But do you care enough about Cancelot High to stick around? When I think back on the cartoons I watched growing up, they may have had even more issues than the Equestria Girls story. Yet they all offered worlds where anything was possible, and for a young mind with raw imagination, that's something special. These were worlds without limits. Equestria Girls is nothing but limits. No magic, no intrigue, nothing to draw the viewer deeper into the world. I'm a little more invested when Twilight gets framed for busting up the gym because I do care about Twilight's
yeah, but it was a lie. It was a lie.
However, this scene is rendered moot almost immediately thanks to Flash.
Fake evidence.
I do want to acknowledge one fact that is overshadowed by the flaws in this scene. Flash helps. Yes, Sunset's doctored photos were silly and Vice Principal Luna isn't the brightest bulb here, yet does that diminish the fact that Flash was proactive in clearing Twilight's name? I may rib on the guy, but I do appreciate that he tried to be a supportive character. Meanwhile, Twilight has the dilemma of getting the dance back on track in the time left, and it's up to Spike to give her some good advice.
We tell them the truth.
What a strange situation. Spike is presented as Twilight's pet, yet he's treated with far more respect than he was as a dragon and Twilight's assistant. Some argue that giving a positive role to a male character in MLP will undermine the heroines. I disagree, thanks in no small part to Spike's role here. I don't think less of Twilight for having such a good friend. If anything, I think more highly of her for inspiring these feelings, and that they're both very lucky to have one another. So thanks to Spike's support, Twilight abandons all pretense and puts her trust in the bond she shares with the others. This scene has got to be tense, focused, and...
You're from an alternate world and you're a pony princess there, and the crown actually has a magical element embedded in it that helps power up other magical elements, and without it, they don't work anymore, and you need them to help protect your magical world. And if you don't get the crown tonight, you'll be stuck in this world, and you won't be able to get back for like a really, really long time.
Fourth wall breaker.
You have turned Pinkie Pie into a Deus Ex device. She is a shortcut to get past the massive and important plot point in order to keep the movie below an hour and a half. Bow your head in shame. And the shortcuts continue as the Human Six begin cleaning the gym on their own and passing students decide to drop whatever they're doing to chip in. It is worth contrasting these scenes from the opening where they wouldn't even help Twilight stand up. Yet there's still the issue of Twilight's efforts versus the results. A song and dance was all it took to get these cutouts to team up? It's too easy, too short. And what are the stakes going into the final act? Twilight's got the student body's support, her friends are entirely behind her, Sunset's multiple schemes have all failed, there's plenty of time until the gateway closes. The tension is at an all-time low, and I have to wonder, what has Sunset been planning?
I need this formal to go on tonight just as much as she does.
Why? What is your plan exactly? Because you told them to wreck the gym, you've been caught lying to the principals, for which there will be no consequence. The entire student body is turned against you, and you're still trying to get the crown through the dance? A smart villain would follow the principals until they went to retrieve the crown. Once that's accomplished, you then overpower them and take it. Which is not as easy as it may sound, but no pain, no gain. Oh. Instead, after the obligatory best night of our lives scene and Twilight wins fair and square, Sunset instead abducts Spike to force Twilight into handing over the crown.
Give me the crown, and you can go back to Equestria tonight. Or keep it and never go home.
Okay, many fans have pointed out that trying to use the sledgehammer on
You
the
know, my
portal would
opinion,
yield this result.
that should have been,
Ouch.
At which point I would
Sunset
have to
having a
declare Boy
gun
Vendetta.
and,
Yet here's a question for
well,
you all. We know that the pool
holding it to
covers
Spike's
this
head.
recessed area, but what
But-
about the surrounding structure?
yeah, I would change
If
my mind
Sunset were
about
to damage
that. That would never happen
would it
on a
crack
show.
the
That'd
pool's
be dark.
surface and therefore close it off?
Especially
I'd like
a
to think so,
cartoon.
because Sunset can't
A kid's
get more
cartoon,
absurd at this point.
to be exact.
Even with her ultimatum, Twilight shuts her down.
Equestria will find a way to survive without my element of harmony.
I've seen Season 4, Twilight. They're up a creek without you. So for all her planning, Sunset only gets the crown when she resorts to tackling Twilight and playing a massive game of keep away. That Sunset wins because Twilight stinks at sports. No shame in that. So while Twilight could wear the crown without any transformation, Sunset gets turned into a she-demon. I feel like I should be happy they're finally making magic a factor in this story, but I'm sorry, it's been an hour viewing just to reach basic levels of conflict. Although I guess my ability to call baloney on this story keeps me from getting brainwashed as well. So, what are you gonna do now, Missy?
Yep, don't break. Oh,
Okay, I'll play the minion. What's the plan, boss?
I want Equestria. And with my own little teenage army behind me, I'm going to get it!
Seriously? That's your plan? Okay, let's say for a moment you defeat Twilight and company and invade Equestria with an army of high schoolers. Here's how that story ends. Welcome back to the Crystal Empire. See, there's the 3 sovereign princesses and the realm's greatest defenders. All of whom are rightly cheesed that you just murdered their friend and
oh, really?
Cadence has just activated the Crystal Heart.
Okay then. Goodbye. Just dozed off for a second.
Did you
Got a
not see
little
that
bored.
coming? I saw that coming. So, about that Faustian bargain.
And you again.
But that doesn't
Achoo!
happen because we have one last ASX merchandise to pull. Twilight and Company magically transform into hybrid forms, which I remind everyone is the form they market within the Equestria Girls toy line. And this is why Equestria Girls will never be able to match Monster High's advertising. You see, these forms are limited, special, whereas the toys try to present them doing everyday activities like sleepovers and cheerleading and whatever. Monster High characters are monsters 24/7. You can market that to girls and they'll buy in because it looks accurate and creepy. And while I don't doubt that people buy Equestria Girl merchandise because it has the My Little Pony logo, this seems like a flawed pitch. And you know this song and dance. The magic WMD solves everything, Sunset is suddenly repentant. I, however, remain vexed.
Yep.
A true
You've been
princess
fixed,
in
Silver.
any world leads not by forcing others to bow before her, but by inspiring others to stand with her.
Okay, 1, Principal Celestia is not a good authority on this matter. 2, remember the concern from the movie's start?
Just because I have this crown and these wings, it doesn't mean I'll be a good leader.
This was the start of a trend that carried through Season 4, and I'm concerned will be a factor in Season 5. Twilight didn't test her limits. While she faced a challenge, she responded to it in the same way she's handled every threat to date. Gather her clique, win with bright colors and lights, and now the audience is meant to believe she's learned something about true leadership. This is the illusion of growth, the sleight of hand to make the audience buy into Princess Twilight without really testing her. She didn't learn how to lead, she learned how to become popular. Unfortunate, since I think she could rise to the challenge if events could unfold naturally. And that's my biggest issue with Equestria Girls, it could have been more. Equestria Girls banks on Friendship is Magic's popularity without bringing anything new to the table. The only high school cliche they didn't touch on was that Sunset never stole Flash on the rebound, unless you count the massive brainwashing. Speaking of Flash, check out that expression. That boy just pulled a groin muscle.
A groin muscle?
Equestria Girls is a harmless movie. It's serviceable enough to be viewed by a family without any discomfort, and despite my disappointment, there are things to celebrate. There is a nostalgia to seeing Twilight re-encounter her best friends, and her relationship with Spike is one of mutual respect and support. The movie is also an interesting premise. If it had been more willing to take risks and flesh out the world, it could have had a similar impact to the TV series. And though it was a rough start, Rainbow Rocks was a different kind of movie. One that can't undo the disappointment of Equestria Girls,
and of
but
course
gets a lot
there
more
is an
right.
after the fact
And we'll visit
Rainbow
that in
Rocks.
due time. I'm the Human Silver-Quill, and I'll see you again for the second movie. Thanks for watching.
See ya, Silver. all I want is after kindness, loyalty, to see all that we can get up, get down. If you're we can work together, drown, so get down. Cause it's gonna make a sound if we work together, help the twilight sparkle in the ground. Gotta come around, we can work together, help the twilight in the ground. So get down. Cause it's gonna make a sound if we work together, help the twilight sparkle in the ground. Whoo! I'm really sorry, guys. I just can't help myself but to sing that song. I just really love it. Literally. So yeah, a lot of people saying that the Equestria Girls movie, you know, the first one was pretty bad, but and after that, Hasbro did improve on the movies, like making like a certain movie with a type of competition, like Battle of the Bands, even friendship games, and of course an activity such as Camp Everfree. Yeah. Yeah, I thought those movies were phenomenal, other than the first one, but I liked the first one. It was pretty good. Anyways, I'm getting it off here now, guys. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, and ahoy!